Hi, this is Nicole Whitlock with the eCom Sellers Academy, and today we are covering Online Arbitrage Workshop Part 2. So, my partner in today's workshop is Celia Rollins. So Celia is the owner of Rollins Cafe. We would love for you to go check it out. She's been selling online since 2015. She's a mom of two, a grandmom of two. And she's a mom of two. She has 3 beautiful grandchildren. And she's a retired computer teacher. She actually taught middle school. I learned that the other day. So my name is Nicole Whitlock. I am the co-founder and the creator of eCom Sellers, LLC. We own eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Sellers Mastery, eCom Sellers Summit, eCom Q4 Summit, and many other eCom related items, okay? I have been selling online since 2014, and I have actually been selling offline since 2008. I used to run a candy vending business, which is, it was a lot of great money until the recession hit, and so that changed everything. But vending business is a great, passive income business to start because of the fact that you don't have to spend a lot of time doing a bunch of work. I actually only worked like 2 times a month, maybe 3 on occasion for a few hours. So I love that. I'm a single mom of 2 special needs kiddos. And so I use e-commerce to help cover their therapies, their diets, their special needs, everything that I need to help take care of them. So review from last week or review from session 1 and workshop 1. So we covered what is online arbitrage. We had you walk through the activity of installing the seller app. We talked through how to understand the sales rank and restricted items, product items, and we also, let me make this invisible. We also taught you how to use the seller app. We actually installed the app, we installed the buying app as well, and we walked through how to use it. And then we walked through some strategies for sourcing at a few different stores. So we talked about some of the big box stores and how you might source and what you might source and what you should be sourcing now. So we're gonna go through a few more things today around sourcing. So today we are covering Keepa and how to conduct some product research using that. DS Quick View, if you don't have these Chrome extensions, this is a great time to pause and you can install some of them if you find the information we share is helpful. And then Camel is another product that we are going to talk through today. We're going to talk about profit margins and your ROI and also wholesale sourcing. And then we're going to actually go through and scan and list some products. We're going to talk about some stores that you might source from while we're scanning and listing. So we'll come back around to that again. And then when you order your product and you check it for arrival, we'll talk through that and how to prep, pack, and ship your product to your customer. So those are all important activities. So let's get started. I think we're going to get started. My screen just went black. There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just went weird. Okay, there you go. Miss Celia, take it away.
All right. So first we're going to talk about Keepa.
Yeah, something is going on with my slides.
It's blinking.
Yeah, it's blinking. I apologize. So one of our slides is having a hard time loading. I don't know why that is. So let me come out of the view.
Images.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll look at it from this view. All right, go ahead.
All right, Keepa. First of all, Keepa is a great extension to have. It used to be free. It's not free anymore, but it's a nominal fee, but it's so worth it. This browser extension lets you track the product price history over a period of time right on Amazon. It can help you avoid making the wrong purchase choices. This is a paid extension, like I said, but it's so worth it. And this is just a visual of what the actual Chrome extension looks like when you search for Keepa. So I just showed the image and what the actual app looks like. Okay.
All right. Oh, now it wants to show.
Wow.
Technology, you gotta love it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so go ahead.
So just to expound a little further, these are just a few more things that Keepa can do for you. You can track price drops on any Amazon product right from the page. You can watch daily deals on products by category. That's just another feature that you actually have to log in to see. But again, you can see daily deals on products, and you can do that by category. The third item, you can customize the data viewed by clicking on the various selections. And I'll show you that in a minute when we get to the image. You can view the lowest, current, highest, and average price of a product. Again, right from the Keepa plugin. You can view how many times a month a product has sold. You can view the data to see which seller has the buy box. Sorry, we forgot buy right there. And you can sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, you can view how many products a seller has in stock. Now, some sellers are kind of savvy. They know how to hide that. But for the ones that don't, you can, there's a way that you can see that. Now, this is just a visual of all the items that I said on the previous page. So I just wanted to show you a graphic of what it looks like. And at the top, you'll see product price history. So where you see the 13, the 12, 11, and those drops, ups and downs, that's the times where the price has gone up and down for that product. You can also track the product. When we said that, that's the next item. Once you click on that, you can actually go in and track the specific product over a period of time, and they will email you alerts as to what's going on with that product. They also have a data tab where you can actually dig more deeply into the data, again, of this specific product. Earn money is something new. That's just the affiliate piece. And then they have settings where you can change back and forth between Amazon and eBay. And over the far right, those colored dots, they actually correspond to the graph activity that you see. So it'll show you where the item is brand new, that's blue. The black dot shows used. The green shows the sales rank. The burgundy and blue is just list price and third-party sellers. They also show you if it's fulfilled by a merchant. The purple shows warehouse deals. That's what I talked about before. And then they show you third-party sellers in the buy box. So as you click on and off of those, I call them radio buttons, those lines can either disappear or they can come back on. So I know once you look at it, it might look all gibberish and discombobulated, but you can actually select what you want to see and what you don't want to view all at one time. And at the bottom where it says statistics, when you click, this menu comes up where it shows new, used, and sales rank. So once you click that statistics button, it'll give you all of this information on this one product. It'll show you the lowest price, the date it was the lowest, the current price, when they pulled that data, so that says 4 hours, the highest price, again, the date, the average price over the last 90 days, the last 180 days. And then it shows you how many drops a month. For this particular product, it says 4. They also have a used column. So if a product is available to be sold as used, they'll give you that data. And over here, this green column is what I really like, because here it shows you the history of the sales rank. So just for example, you can see how what the rank was of this product October 2016. And then it shows you the current rank. Then it goes back even further. So it just gives you 90 day. You can do 30 day if you want, 100 days, or the lifetime like the entire time that the item has been living on Amazon. You can do that too. And this bottom number, like a lot of times people want to know the velocity or how fast an item sells per month. That number 23 per month shows you the velocity of the product. So if you wanted to know how fast it sells, so this just gives you a good estimate of how fast. So this would be 23 times per month that this item has sold. So this is just a good little snippet of all the information that you can get from a Keepa graph. Now we can just, this could be a whole session in itself just on the meat and potatoes of a tool like Keepa.
Absolutely. And that is something that we definitely, we have that on our radar for future. But that is, this is a valuable tool to use to do product research.
And this tool, this is another great tool. You know how when you're on Amazon and you put in a search term, say cookies or whatever you're searching for, and that search page comes up, you don't have to click to open the particular product to see the data. You can use the plugin like DS Amazon Quick View, and at the bottom where those red arrows are, it'll give you the BSR, it'll give you the category, it'll show you whether or not Amazon is selling the product, along with if it's other FBA sellers and how many. You can also see the ASIN. And if you click even further, I think it's tabs that'll show you price history and is that BSR rank?
Rank, yeah. BSR rank, yep.
So this is another tool that's great. This tool is still free, and it just gives you a quick snapshot of all the products on that page, where you won't have to actually click to open it up to see the information. You can just get a little quick view, just like it says, of the items on that page. And another great tool that I use, this is still free as of right now. This is called Camel, Camel, Camel. Now the plugin is called the Camelizer, but the tool still works the same. And this is a drop-down graph. I'm sorry, the Camelizer extension lets you view historical pricing data of products on Amazon. You can also set up Price Watch to see when the product prices drop. This is a great tool when you click and it shows you the price and history of an item. So you see the bar graph, it shows you the prices over time, those drops. And also the color codes, you can see the details, a little small, but you can see the details, whether it's Amazon, that's green, third-party seller is blue. I think that's new and used. So those correspond to the actual bar graph. So you can know what those color codes mean, what they stand for. And again, it shows you the lowest, the highest, and the current price. So this one is more detailed for the price drops. Increases too. And that's a drop-down plugin right there. And the almighty ROI and profit margins. This is why we're all in business, to make sure you get a return on your investment. And that's what we call ROI. And that is the ratio between your net profit and the cost of investment. Most of the time, the goal is to make at least 50%, of course, more of your money back. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to lose money. And when calculating your potential profit, these are just a few things that we include. The product costs, the platform fees, like whether you're on Amazon or eBay or Shopify, those fees you need to consider. Your estimated shipping costs, your potential storage fees, depending on the timing. And if you're using a prep center, Amazon FBA, or merchant fulfill. All those need to be considered when you are trying to calculate your potential profit of a product. And also, I like to just add the keeping in mind the sales velocity of a product, like how fast it flips. Because of course, the faster it flips, the faster you can return on your money. But you need to know that ahead of time, whether it's a fast flip or it just takes a little longer. But the ideal is to have faster flips.
All right, so we covered Keepa and DS Quick View and Camel. And before that, last week or the session one, we covered, how to scan a product and how to look at that product and kind of understand what you're seeing with the Amazon app, or if you happen to be pulling it up online, how to better understand what you're seeing. So we are about to go into an activity. So we hope that either you have your Amazon seller app available, or you can pull up your computer. And we're going to go to Amazon.com, and we can Google Amazon Top 100, or you can pull out products that happen to be like around your house. Mm-hmm. So if you want to grab something real quick that you want to scan, and if you don't want to scan anything, like if you don't want to get up and go scan anything, then we encourage you just to do a quick Google search for Amazon Top 100, and then choose a category and a product and use your Amazon seller app that you installed in session one to actually scan the product. So we're going to scan the product. First, we're going to look at it on Amazon.com or Amazon selling app. If you have installed Keepa, or if you've installed Keepa or Camel, yes, quick view. How funny is that? If you've installed that, then when you go to Amazon.com on your computer, then you're going to see all of the stuff that you just covered regarding the Keepa chart, and you're going to see the Camel chart, and you're going to see the DS Quick View, which is going to give you a bunch of data about this particular product. And then you can make a decision on whether or not you want to sell it. So all of that's going to be visible when you actually either pull up the product on Amazon.com on your actual computer. And then there's some additional data we want you to look at if you're pulling up on the seller app or the buying app. We want you to go and look at the rating for the product. We want to see what the stars are. Like, does it have, my rule of thumb is 4 stars or more. So if it has 3, I might not consider selling it unless I go down into the ask a question section and review what people have said. Okay, and see what they said. If people are giving it a 3 because of something that's completely outside the product's control, that's one thing. But if the product is just not worth anything, and even though you may be able to find a fantastic way to source it, I'm probably not going to source it based on what people say. So I'm looking for things that have a rating of 4 or more. If they have less than 4, I'm going to go review the questions to see if there's any information there. And then in order to take advantage of increasing my potential profit, or maybe making a little extra money or scaling this particular product, I'm going to review what the frequently sold together looks like. Okay. So once you've reviewed it, you scanned it through your Amazon buying app, and then you've also scanned it through your seller app, or you have pulled it up on your computer, and the computer is where you're going to see all of the extension stuff take off on its own, which is some great data to kind of analyze, and it helps you make an educated decision on whether or not you should source this product or not. Always knowing where you can get it from first is helpful, but a little hat trick, you can write it down, is when you are scanning, like let's say you went to Amazon Top 100, maybe that was your decision today. You went to Amazon Top 100. If you right click on it and you're in Google, you can click on search Google for this item, search Google image for this image. And then once you do that, it'll tell you all the places where it found that particular image. So that's reverse sourcing. That's finding the item on another way that's outside of Amazon. So maybe you can find the original location of the item. If you find the original location of the item, that's game changer, because that gives you the opportunity to go ahead and potentially buy it directly from wherever the secondary source is, if that price is really reasonable. So if it's selling on Amazon for $21.99 and you happen to search Google for this image and it's selling somewhere for $14.99 or $12.99, and you look at the data for Keepa, you look at the data for Camel, or you look at the data for DS QuickView, and you can use all of them on your computer, and it's giving you some really good statistical data, and it's telling you how many of this particular item has sold, then that may be one you want to just go ahead and source right now, so that way when it arrives, you can go ahead and you can do merchant fulfilled, and you can sell it to customers immediately. If it's got an amazing rank and there's not that many sellers on it, you have to make that decision. I would go ahead and source it. And when you're scanning with your seller app, the reason you would want to do that, because the buying app is one thing, and or going to Amazon.com is one thing. But you may scan it with your seller app and find out that you need to get approval to sell that item. So in session 1, we talked about requesting approval. We talked about restricted categories and brands, and we talked about what you need to do in order to get approved. So when scanning with the seller app, you'll also find out what the sales rank is for the item, how many sellers are on it, and what the profit is. And you'll also see the difference between if you decide to Amazon, Amazon fulfill it, or if you want to do seller fulfill, which is you ship it to the customer if you do seller fulfill. So if you do Amazon fulfilled, which means you want to send it to the Amazon warehouses, that's the Amazon FBA. We have a workshop coming up on the Amazon FBA. All right, so let's talk through, we're going to scan this item. So if you didn't pull anything out, we've given you enough time to go find something to scan. If you didn't pull anything out, then you can go ahead and go to Amazon Top 100, pull out your seller app, and let's scan an item and let's see what's happening with it. So in this particular example, I told you that the seller app and the buying app is also, they're going to give you some information. You can actually find the sales rank of a particular item. You have to scroll down in the, again, we looked at this in the workshop 1, but you have to scroll down the page when you're on the buying app or you're on the buying page to see what the sales rank is. And then it also gives you what the lowest price is right now for this particular item, what the estimated Amazon FBA fees are, your potential profit. Also tells you how many sellers are on the listing. Again, we looked at a lot of this in session 1. And so if you are going to sell this particular item, you're going to scroll down to the bottom of the app and you're going to click on list. Okay. Now, since you're doing online arbitrage, you need to place your order first from the supplier, wherever you sourced it from. You decide where you're going to source it from. So search Google for this image if we're doing a quick Amazon Top 100 search for this activity. And then once you find an item and you find a source that's other than Amazon, and if the price is lower than it's selling on Amazon, then that may be a good source. Okay. We're also going to talk about some more strategies on how to get that price down a little bit. So once you click on list, then it's going to take you to a secondary page. And once you go to that secondary page, you're going to put in the condition for the item, the price for the item, the quantity that you're going to sell, and the SKU. So you only do this after you place the order with the supplier, you have the product in hand, and you're ready for that to scan and list that item as merchant fulfilled if you're going to do merchant fulfilled. And we highly recommend that right about now. So when you scroll down on the app, you're going to see this button that says, I want to ship the item to the customer. That's seller fulfilled. And so once you click on the seller fulfilled, which is radio button number 1, you're going to click continue. Okay. So the things that you need to enter is you need to select the condition, you need to select the price. And remember, you don't always have to choose the lowest price. If there's a bunch of sellers on it, or if there's a higher seller that has it, you can change your price. You don't have to sell it for the low price. How many did you order, or what's your quantity? If you're going to put in a unique SKU for your own personal tracking, then that's what you put here, the seller SKU. If you don't have a unique SKU and you're just going to let Amazon choose the SKU, you can do that. Leave it blank and you can do that. Choose the first radio button and click continue. Then once you click continue, it's going to bring you to a page and you're going to click on submit your listing. Once you click on submit your listing, you're going to get a message that says you've successfully listed this item. So again, you placed the order with the supplier. The item arrived on your front doorstep. and you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready for this item to go live so people can buy it from you. Okay. If you're paying attention to what's happening with the tracking, if you want it to go live just before, right at the arrival, the delivery date, you can choose to do that as well. That's a slight risk because, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening with deliveries these days. But if you want to do that, that's an option, or you just wait until you have it physically in your possession. So where are you sourcing from? There's just so many places that you can source from and so many options. Some of these, you know, there's the physical store and then there's the online store version of the same thing. So there's a handful in here that you're actually only going to be able to go to a physical store. So if any of these in your area that you're only able to go to a physical store, then just do the physical store and don't worry about trying to source for an online store. But about 95% of the places that are on this page, they definitely have an online source. So when you're doing online sourcing, and that includes the grocery stores, like a lot of the grocery stores, don't overlook the opportunity to use grocery stores to do your consumables or replenishables. I call them steady eddies, things that are going to generate you regular income. And look at the statistical data when you pull it up on Amazon.com for that particular item before you source it. Always use a tool to make sure this is the item I want to source. So again, Keepa always gives you a lot of great data. You can rewind this, come back and watch this recording. Keepa gives you a lot of great data. So does DS Quick View, and so does Camel. So look at that and make a decision, purchase the item. But don't overlook grocery stores. I definitely wanted to remind you of that. The wholesale or warehouse stores, Costco, Best Buy, BJ's, definitely a great opportunity to source from. Drugstores, Walgreens, CVS, and again, if you go physically into the store, then you have available to you, like some of the stores have rewards programs. So then that means, again, you can get the price down lower than what you currently can, potentially buy at the physical store. So look for those online deals. If you register with any of these stores, they will send you any type of coupon deals that they're having. One of my favorites, or one of the ones that I get coupons all the time, like Kohl's is a great one. Kohl's is an absolute fabulous one. But right now I've been seeing a lot of ridiculous coupons for JCPenney's. I've been seeing a lot of ridiculous coupons for Old Navy and stores like that, where you can make online purchases and then you turn around and flip those items for a higher profit. Okay, so, and remember that you can use this strategy. Everything that you're learning in online arbitrage, we're talking about it from an Amazon point of view. You can use this strategy on any other platform. So any other platform you can apply these strategies to. So there's a great list of stores here. There's some that are online only, and then you have some wholesale. Invest in or research establishing your own wholesale account with wholesale suppliers. So again, you can get things at a lower price. But again, right now, some of the stores, physical stores, they have some amazing online deals. So make sure you have registered with the stores. That is so important. So when you're doing sell and fulfill orders, instead of doing Amazon FBA, because there's a lot of things that are happening with Amazon FBA right now, we recommend that you choose a fulfillment center, a prep center for your items to go to. So instead of, if you want to place that order and have it shipped to your home and then have the listing go live when it arrives, that's perfect. But if you want to circumvent that entire process, you don't want any inventory showing up at your front door, then you can establish an account with a fulfillment center. And if you do that, then they will receive the item, so you can put in their address and the information that they want you to include, so that when that shipment arrives at their front doorstep, they know it's yours and they put it in your slot and registered under you, so that your listing can go live as soon as it's checked in, and you're like almost 100% hands off. You just do the research using the tools that we recommend. As some of the stores that we recommend are the online sources that we recommend, and then ship it directly to the prep center instead of shipping it to your home. Once they get it, checks in, goes live, you're done. You just wait for the money to come in. When somebody buys it, then your fulfillment center will ship the item to the customer for you. So again, your hands are 100% off. So I would encourage you, again, to establish one. We choose My Fulfillment Team. That is our partner for eCom sellers. And so, you know, reach out to them. You can establish an account with them. They have great service. So we recommend that. So when you receive a notification that an item has been sold, you'll receive it either on, you can receive it on your phone if you've got the seller app installed. If you log into your Amazon your Seller Central back office, you know, you have an email account, so you should be checking your emails all the time. But when you log into your Amazon Seller Central, you'll also have a little notification thing at the top of your screen on the upper right-hand side. It might be on the left-hand side. It's on the right-hand side. But, and it'll tell you, hey, you have an item to be shipped, okay? And if you've integrated with the prep center, then they get those notifications as well. So your hands are off of it. But if you haven't integrated, you need to go over to manage orders and pull it up in your account so you can mark it as shipped. But I would buy the shipping first before you mark it as shipped. So you have that information to put in there. So you'll want to enter the tracking number and yeah. And you want to enter the tracking number.
And broccoli?
Yes, Nicholas. Sorry. My son is talking to me at the same time. So since shipping times are a little different right now, I always, when I am about to ship something to a customer, I send them a notification that your item has been shipped and the estimated arrival is this. However, please allow an additional 24 to 48 hours to contact me if you have not received the item. So I would encourage you to help manage that customer's expectation. Sometimes they're going to get things on time, and that's, again, some of this is completely outside of your control when it comes to the carrier and what's happening with the amount of boxes that each one of the carriers, USPS, UPS, and FedEx, are handling right now. You can't control any of that. So I try to manage expectations by sending a communication to the customer to let them know that your item has been shipped, and they get that information anyway. And I also send a second one that says, please allow 24 to 48 hours for that item to actually arrive, even if it says it's been delivered. Because again, sometimes the carrier is out, it's on the truck, but because they have so many deliveries that day, they don't actually get to your street. So it goes back to the warehouse or goes back to wherever. And then the next morning it shows up the next day. So even though they put it on the truck and said, hey, it's being delivered today, it didn't happen. So just be mindful of that. Make sure that when you are in your Amazon Seller Central back office that you set your return instructions, or you include your return instructions, and that you comply with all of Amazon's terms of service. That is so important in order to not get your account suspended. All right.
Shipping seller fulfilled orders. An easy way to hit all the points is to fulfill your orders through Amazon Seller Central whenever possible. That's just your security, using Amazon's back office to buy your shipping. Because with Amazon's buy shipping, you can buy the shipping labels individually or in bulk. You can ship and confirm your orders and track your shipments. Using Amazon's buy shipping ensures that your products are delivered to the customers using a trusted network of shipping carriers, and it protects your seller metrics. That is so important. Those seller metrics are key. So with Amazon, you know, that's your backup right there. Packing tips for sellers. Here's some tips for packing your items. Choose a container that's slightly larger than your item so you can cushion it with packing material on all sides. And oh God, that is so important, especially because I know how I am when I receive my items. I don't want them to be all tore up, messed up, and I try to treat my customers the same way. Surround your item with bubble wrap, packing peanuts, foam, or paper so there's no room for things to move around. Use clear or brown packaging tape, reinforced packing tape or paper tape, which should be at least 2 inches wide. And I will use the heck out of that tape just to make sure that box is secure. 3 strips. 1, 2, 3. Don't use masking tape. Cellophane tape, cord, string, or twine. Tape the opening of the box and reinforce all seams and edges. Clearly label the package and include a return address. If reusing a box, cover any previous labels and cross out any previous addresses with a black marker. So you want your labels to be clear because you want to make sure there's no problems with your shipments. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next thing we're covering, sorry, my little keyboard, there we go. So what to source right now? So of course, there's always the items that may be applicable for COVID-19, and those are always a great opportunity to source right about now. You can also go ahead and source health and beauty items. These are health and personal care, beauty and personal care and beauty. I forget what the category is. In my mind, it's always health and beauty because I used to Target when I was in high school, and that's the name of the department. So it's always stuck in my brain that way. But in any case, these are things that you are replenishing on a regular basis for yourself. So if you're replenishing them, go see if you can sell them. That's a great opportunity for you to start to find your steady eddies and your replenishables. Same thing with food items and perishable items. Then items that people need, that the people use that they don't want to go to the store except for once a month. So what do they need to buy? And they need to buy it in larger quantities. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to recommend to you that you source big things. I don't recommend that you source big things. I recommend that you source smaller things so you can manage or mitigate your shipping costs. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always looking for the smaller items and not the bigger items. So I'm not going to be the one to tell you to source paper towels and toilet paper in bulk. That's not going to be me. But I am going to say, what are some of those smaller things that you buy on a regular basis that you need? So, you know, if you shave on a regular basis, maybe you need replacement shavers or replacement blades. You know, you're buying deodorant or you're buying toothpaste, maybe replacement toothbrushes, things that you only want to buy once a month. You know, there are those, they wear the false lashes. That's another one. You could do that. People who don't want to go to the beautician, so maybe they're buying their own hair clippers. That's a smaller item. It's not a huge item to buy a single pair of clipping shears for your hair or scissors or things like that. So think of these smaller things that you get on a regular basis that take up space in your cart. Also, don't overlook the things that people need for mental health and for health and well-being overall. So since we're in the middle of COVID-19, we know that the flu season is going to be coming later on this year. What are the things that people typically buy for flu season? What are those things? And those are typically in your pharmacy area of any store. And so they're going to be available online. Can you source those, and can you source them for a lower price, or maybe use some coupons, cashbacks, whatever, to get that price down so you can have a profit? So again, what are those things that people buy? Cough drops, they're buying cough syrup, they're buying supplements like vitamin C, they're buying different things. So this is an opportunity for you to think about, okay, the next 3 to 6 months, what are people going to be buying for the flu season? What are people going to be buying for back to school, beyond back to school? What are they going to need? So we have learning activities and summer activities, but we also have back to school coming up. So the reality is we don't know what back to school is going to look like. So your job is to source for items. And these are what we are giving you. We already talked about the Amazon top 100, top 1% of the sales rank. We talked about that in workshop number 1. So we're giving you ideas on what to source for that's either going to be in the Amazon top 100 or is already in the Amazon top 100. So back to school is going to be one of those, regardless of where it sits right now. People are going to be buying school supplies. And this year may be the exception to the rule. They may be buying school supplies later than planned because several schools are some school districts are going to start off with virtual, and then they're going to transition to physical. So if they're starting off with virtual and transitioning to physical, that is an opportunity for you. So what are the things that people need for virtual school? because before parents didn't get a chance to prep for that. Now parents get a chance to prep for it. So what are the things that they need? Be thinking about those to help their child or children be a little more organized, a little more structured than they were last spring break. So look into those, cork boards, dry erase boards, clippers, maybe desk dividers for kids that have to share a desk, maybe an organization tray, things that you would probably have in an office setting, and now you need to have it at a home setting, something that's going to help the child stay on task and stay on track, or maybe that they can check off their list of daily activities. I went to my science class, I did my, math reading. So it becomes a checklist for the child to keep themselves self accountable. So think about those strategies that parents are going to have to implement. And if you're still drawing a blank, then do a Google search for homeschooling and look at some of the things that parents buy that have been homeschooling for years. Those are going to be some of the same things that those that are going to have to do virtual schooling might buy. So there's a great opportunity. And then if you're a drop shipper, another great opportunity is small desks. And they're going to also need some potential, digital products, or sorry, electronics, not digital products, but electronics. Like, okay, sometimes there's going to be a need to buy iPads. I'm not saying that you're approved for that, but what's a compatible product that you can sell that you might be approved for? And maybe you don't sell that product. Maybe you just sell the covers for it. Maybe you sell the accessories like the charging cords, because we know kids can destroy some charging cords. And think about that. Hello.
Husbands too.
Yeah, so yeah. So Chromebooks, think about the covers. If you are not going to sell the actual item, sell the accessories for it. That's another great one. So there's a lot that's on this list. I think like air purifiers and filters, again, that's going to be a huge thing going into the fall. As people try to return back to school, return to wherever, there's going to be more and more of these air purifiers that have the UV light ray to clean the air. Think about that. Things for cleaning, and also like recycle, not necessarily recycle, but reusable cleaning supplies. So the little plastic spray bottles that you can just refill, you can get the smaller ones, the big ones, you can sell those. Maybe you sell them in a multi-pack, maybe you sell them in a bundle, but you got to source them from somewhere. And we gave you a list of places to consider sourcing from. And so get that going, get your accounts established there. And then think about the holidays. So I only have a couple here, but that's just crazy. So we know that election season is this year. So sourcing for those types of things. Sourcing for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. These are holidays that are not going to change. They're still going to happen. Source for the fall. Source for those holidays that are still going to happen. We don't know what Halloween's going to look like, but the great thing about Halloween is most of the time you have a built-in mask already. So I'm confident the kids will probably get out and about and try to do some trick-or-treating because of the fact that you can go outside because you'll have a mask on. So think about that and look into other things that you think people might buy or they might do over the next 3 to 6 months. Like go and look at a calendar, look at the things that are happening in August. What's typically happening in September? What's typically happening in October, November, December? And then kind of gauge, okay, now what did we do, in October, November, December, every single year? What have we done traditionally? Are we going to football games? Maybe football games look different this year, so maybe that's not something you'll do, but you still probably get together and do some tailgating. That's outside, you can do that. So, and people are always looking for an opportunity to host and get together outside. I'm just gonna tell you. So backyard parties, anything that you can source for backyard parties, including the least expensive thing to put out is like the little LED lights. Like those are inexpensive and they're small. So that's easy shipping, low cost shipping. So how do you scale? So we talked about, building a real work schedule and developing a calendar around what's happening each one of those months so that you can make sure that you take advantage of those windows in order to buy or source items that are always in the top 1% of the sales rank. Even if they're in the top 5% right now, if they're coming into their season, then the sales rank is going to come down. Again, the lower the rank, the faster it's moving. The velocity is what Ms. Celia, the term that she used. So put together a calendar so it's always top of mind. and put a checklist that at the beginning of each month, in the middle of each month, you're checking that calendar to make sure you didn't forget about sourcing opportunities for that specific month and sourcing opportunities for the next month. Always put that as a tickler. The next thing is be consistent, pay attention to the trends. So we know the trend right now is masks. Masks are selling like crazy, but there's some other things that are trends right now that people may be overlooking. So try to be that person that's sourcing for that, or maybe create some bundles for it. Source for replenishable, consumable, steady eddies. They're all the same thing. These are things that people buy on a regular basis, things that you run out of and you're going to need to go back and get more. So think about that. And you don't always have to source the big stuff. You can source the smaller stuff. But what are some of the smaller items that you run out of after 3 months or after a month or after whatever, is you have to go back and buy multiple times in a year? Write your own personal list down. You can also outsource or hire a shopper, hire helpers. So you can hire helpers if you're going to have inventory sent directly to you. You can have them fulfill your shipments for you to your customers. That's one option. You can also outsource aspects of your business, maybe the product research, all of the stuff with Keepa and Camel, and DS QuickView. Maybe they're doing that research for you, so you don't have to do it. So again, hiring a VA, that just multiplies you. And so just imagine if you're able to make, I don't know, $2,000 and you're working 20 hours a week and you're able to profit $2,000, what would happen if you doubled you and you only had to pay an extra $400 to double you? Well, that means that your income is going to go to $4,000. You need to subtract the 400 from the 4,000, so you have 3,600. But the point is, you've just doubled you. What if you had a third VA? Now you've tripled you. What if you're outsourced to a prep center? So just think about ways in which you can, maximize your profits and the opportunity. And hiring a VA and or outsourcing aspects of your business is always a great way. Reinvest the majority of your profits for the first 6 months, so that way you can scale. You can buy larger orders. You can buy in bulk. You can take advantage of flash deals and flash sales so much quicker versus waiting for you to get your money back. And then gradually invest increase your investment month over month. So if you started off with, I'm only spending, I don't know, $200 a week, and I'm spending $200 every single week, and I'm making back whatever. So maybe you're spending $800 in the first month, and your return on your investment is $2,000 in profit. So then next month you gradually increase that. Instead of 800, maybe half it. And so maybe you're investing $1,200. You divide that into 4 weeks. That's $300 a week instead of $400 a week. Okay. Now what does that do to your profits? You do that math, and then the next month do the same thing. Instead of $300 a week, go to $400 a week. And so just keep doing the same thing over and over again as you gradually increase. Look into selling niches. Niches are always a great opportunity to make money, and always a great opportunity to get some quick sales. There's an audience out there that you probably are quite familiar with. For me, the audience is the autism community. And so I know specifically what that community is looking for, at least 75 to 80% of the time. So since I know that information, that means I'm an insider. I can source for those products and target selling to that specific audience. Families with children with special needs, families with children with disabilities, families with children that have special physical disabilities, that they have certain things that they need, eating disabilities, whatever it happens to be, learning disabilities. What are the things that I could be sourcing because of that niche? So you have a niche, you have access to a niche. Maybe it's a niche based off of your age. Maybe it's a niche based off of the fact that you're a grandma. Celia is a grandma. So she's quite aware of some of the things that grandmas are looking for. Mm-hmm. So again, you have the opportunity, you're just overlooking it. Maybe you attend church on a regular basis, or you like to attend church. Maybe you're a person who likes to exercise. And so that's a niche, people who exercise. Maybe you have pets, maybe you have a dog or a cat. So people with dogs or people with cats. So don't overlook that as an opportunity to dig deeper into a niche that you already know about. And then we talked about, buying below wholesale. Right now, there's some ridiculous sales happening, period. Because a lot of the stores are they've got inventory that already came in, and they've got to get it, they've got to make space for it. So they got to sell stuff that would have already sold right now. So, you know, take advantage of the sales that are happening. If you register for each one of the stores, you'll get their newsletters or their flyers or whatever. And sometimes they'll have flash sales. So be prepared to pull the trigger on some flash sales. Use store coupons, use rebates, use regular coupons, cash backs, clearance. You can even use, I forgot to use, what was it, gift cards. So gift cards should be on this list, and I forgot to write that down. It's totally my fault. But gift cards, you can get gift cards. Maybe you buy a gift card that's a value of $100, and maybe you bought it for $89. You have an immediate, an immediate ROI, because you'll be able to buy $100 worth of inventory for $89. So you have an immediate savings there. So take advantage of that. Also, the going out of business, source for liquidations. There's going to be a lot of liquidation options. So it's going to be a treasure trove of sourcing. And then look into the buy and hold and seasonal items, and learn what's happening at your stores, because the online is going to give you an idea, but you know, you're still sometimes probably still going out physically because you have to go to the grocery store. You have to pick up something that you can't wait to arrive. So pay attention to the stores when you walk into them. That'll give you an idea of some things that you can start doing product research online. And what else would you add to this list, Celia? Is there anything you would add to this
That
list?
looks pretty thorough. Like you said, the gift cards, that's a good option.
Yeah.
Gift card granny, that's a good one.
Gift card granny is an absolute. All right. So with that being said, this is everything that we covered. We gave you some actionable items. So we talked about what is online arbitrage. We walked you through installing the app. Hopefully you really did do that. We also encouraged you to install the buying app as well. We helped you understand sales ranks and restricted items and restricted brands. We also talked about the seller app, and then also your Amazon Seller Central. We taught you how to scan from your computer. Like that was an action or an activity that hopefully you participated in. We also gave you some sourcing ideas for stores in session 1, and we also gave you some sourcing ideas even more in session 2. So take advantage of those. Hopefully you've been sourcing a little bit. We gave you some ideas on what to source now. We walked through using Keepa. I was going to say Keepa. DS QuickView and Camel. And we encouraged you to install those. So hopefully if you took the action to install them, you're actually playing with those extensions right now. And then we walked through, okay, once you order, what to do when it arrives. So again, it's a decision for you. It's whether or not you need to send the item to a prep center, or you're going to handle it at home. And then also making sure that you remove everything out of it so that way, when you get ready to ship it to a customer, it's ready to go. Another thing that I didn't mention here is, you want to make a note real quick, is when your inventory comes in, if you're having it shipped to you personally, make sure you've created some kind of cataloging system, because as you acquire more inventory, you need to know when something sells, if it's in, we have a tub system here. So if it's in tub 1 or tub 10. So again, create some kind of tracking cataloging system so you know where your stuff is. When somebody buys it, you need to be able to pull it out and be able to ship it to the customer if you have a lot of inventory. If you don't have a lot of inventory and everything is available for you to see, that's fine. But if you have a lot, then create a tracking system that works for you in your house, so that way you'll be able to find the stuff, you can ship it to the customer. We walked through a scan and list exercise. We scanned some stuff. We talked about that before. And then we talked about profit margins, wholesale sourcing, return on your investment, and what you need to do to ship an item to a customer or to a prep center for that matter. So I hope this information is helpful. If it has been helpful to you, please write in the comments what you learned and what was helpful to you. What else would you have liked to have learned? We are always open to helping provide some additional information. And we hope that you'll use this information. We hope that during this session that you actually did, do some of the activities so that you could get results like right now. We want you to start making money, and don't delay, don't wait, don't procrastinate, don't sit back and twiddle your thumbs. Get started, get active, be consistent. And you want to do this now because we're in third quarter. So the great thing about third quarter is if you haven't built the habit of online sourcing, you can start it right now. And you can continue those activities all the way into fourth quarter. So then you have an established habit. Because again, doing something for 21, 28, 35 days is going to help you build that habit of consistency. And you have plenty of time before you get to the end of September and you're into Q4. So build those habits of consistency now so that that can line your pockets for the future and profits. So I'm Nicole Whitlock, and this beautiful lady right here is Miss
Celia Rollins.
And we are part of eCom Sellers Academy. We hope this information was a blessing to you. If you are not a member of the Academy, please join us and go to www.ecomsellersacademy.com and goodbye for now.
Good night.